sometimes you just got to get up and dance.
It's just showing that soccer's growing in America.
Yeah! Balls just don't bounce your way. This is trouble. Never lose hope. Hello from Kansas. It is your soccer zombie, Tom Franklin, here standing outside of Children's Mercy Park. And, wait, that's not Children's Mercy Park. That's Kansas Speedway. They race cars there. They don't play soccer there. So if that's not the park, then where am I? Surely Children's Mercy Park's around here somewhere. But you see that water tower off in the distance? It's somewhere around there. But this is the biggest derby of the year for St. Louis soccer fans. It is St. Louis City SC and Sporting Kansas City, or as we call them, Sporting Kansas, because we are in Kansas and they play in Kansas. It's just a fact of life, folks. It just is. Although most Kansas City fans don't like when we point that fact out. This is the 6th time in just the short history of St. Louis that St. Louis has played Kansas City, including the playoffs. They played 3 matches last year, 2 at St. Louis, 1 at Kansas City in the regular season, which St. Louis won that 2-1, winning both home games. And then in the playoffs, Kansas City had our number. They took us out we played 2 games, 1 at home, 1 at away, and Kansas City kind of cleaned our clock, let's just face it. Both teams looking for some wins. I mean, St. Louis had a long string of draws before finally winning this past weekend against Austin FC. KC, meanwhile, just played in front of 72,000 at Arrowhead Stadium, the football stadium for the Kansas City Chiefs of the NFL, because some guy named Lionel Messi was in town. Perhaps you've heard of him. Big game today. It's April, so it's not like imperative that either team wins, but I think Kansas City is going to be under pressure today to get a win today over their hated rivals, and also kind of right their ship as well. They're right down in the fringes of the playoffs with St. Louis here, so let's go check out some of the St. Louis contingent that's arrived. I think you gotta help set it up for her, I think. There you go. You got it. One. We may lack in technical skills, but we don't lack in heart in St. Louis. We give it our all, even when we can't. How much have you been looking forward to this game against Kansas?
Super excited. I mean, bought tickets early on, even if I thought I might get tickets with the supporters group. I still bought the tickets. I booked a hotel early, and I'm booked for July as well. So
excellent.
Very
and
excited.
Is this your first time in Kansas, or did you go to any of the games last year?
This is my 3rd trip. I came to the game last year with my family, and then playoffs came around, and no one could go, so I made the road trip by myself. Hung out here by myself because these are great people, and it was awesome.
And score prediction today?
3-1 City.
I love it. Let's go City.
Let's go City! Hey!
I have an honest-to-goodness St. Louis City SC celebrity here, Super Santo. If you go to any game at City Park, you see this guy in our cop end, the supporter section, the north end. Super Santo, man, what does this game mean to you?
Man, this games mean like a revenge, because I remember the last 2 years when we can't, we lose. So I hope and we pray we can win this game today. So this means a lot of happiness for everybody. So that's the reason we here.
Yes, and the Santos, of course, a very visible part of St. Louis City SC culture. I mean, what does this team and your group mean to you?
This team means like a man. I think this means everything for everybody, because for a long time we waited to get a soccer team, and now we get it. So this means not only for the Latino people, I think this means for everybody to enjoy this thing.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. By the way, you got some guys dancing behind you here. Got some really good moves behind you. So there we go. There we go. Sometimes you just got to get up and dance, you know. a historian of St. Louis soccer, if there ever is one. Real quick, for the people who may not be aware of this derby, why do we hate Kansas so much?
Historically, that's a longer story than we have time for today. But,
Sure.
Why we hate Sporting is just their refusal to acknowledge that soccer existed in this country prior to 1996. We have 100 years of history with the game in St. Louis. They don't seem to understand that soccer didn't get invented when MLS showed up, so I think that's the root of it. And then also just the natural rivalry between the two cities, and also the refusal to understand that this isn't Missouri, this is Kansas.
Exactly. And by the way, this derby doesn't have a nickname yet. I mean, I've heard Derby Q, Capital Classico. What would you like to see this called?
I tend to lean more towards barbecue in all things. If Matt Baker says it's right, then I'll probably agree with him. But Capital Classico is also a good one. And that one has extra meaning because of the whole, cease and desist thing from last year.
So you may have noticed I am wearing a River City Ramble shirt here. That is the podcast that last year was cease and desisted by Sporting Kansas City because they called themselves the Soccer Capital Podcast. And Kansas City claims to own a trademark of it. That they don't claim, they actually do. And decided to threaten a small St. Louis podcast with a cease and desist. But I mentioned them because I'm going to be on guest on River City Ramble. We'll record the day after this game, and it'll be out on Monday. So check it out wherever you get podcasts. So as you can see, our ranks run deep. And behind that hill is Children's Mercy Park. It's bigger than it looks because it's so far away. Because they park us out in Timbuktu.
A few moments later.
We have finally made it. We have finally completed our long journey from the Orange Lot. We have finally made it the mecca of football in Kansas, Nebraska Furniture Mart. Oh, and the stadium's over here too, by the way. You're an SKC fan, and for the first time, since your MLS existence, you have a natural geographical rival here. What does this rivalry mean to you?
I mean, it's pretty huge to just have. It's just showing that soccer's growing in America, and just showing that we can compete out there with those top clubs in Europe in a few years.
And not only can you compete, I mean, you competed well against St. Louis. I mean, you took us out in the playoffs last year. And how much have you enjoyed this rivalry so far?
I mean, I've liked it. I just like the heat that comes in and just showing the tension in the building.
This is the second year of this rivalry between these two clubs. I mean, what does this rivalry mean to you as a fan?
I actually really enjoyed it this last year because our team started real rough and it kind of got some excitement back in for our season. I actually went to St. Louis and y'all's atmosphere was really cool. It's kind of what our team's missing right now. I'm hoping we get that back together. But the rivalry, it's exciting. I'm loving it so far.
And I know you guys have been waiting for kind of a natural rivalry for years. I mean, I guess it was, was Real Salt Lake your biggest rival before this?
Yeah, they tried to force Minnesota on us, but realistically it was RSL for sure.
So as you can see, even here in America, we do have away gates that away supporters go into here. It's not a hard rule. Like, I've seen St. Louis fans go in other gates, but they do try to corral us in one gate over here as well. So we do have a little bit of football culture here in the States. Sporting Kansas City's done a really good job over the years of connecting its region to the club, and as well as promoting youth soccer in the club. These are the crests of some of the regional networks that are around here. There's Leavenworth in Kansas. There's also Salina. You have Oklahoma represented here. Nebraska's represented. Springfield, Missouri. This is apparently a thing. Can anyone that is in Sporting STL's academy actually raise their hands here in the comments and say that you're actually a part of this group? Does anyone have the guts to say that? Reminder that we've only had a club in St. Louis for this is our second year, and a lot of fans in St. Louis before we got our own club were fans of Sporting Kansas City, so there's a little bit of residual from that. By the way, we are here in what is known as the heartland of America, and when you are in the heartland of America, you have a lot of these things, cows, and you also have a lot of milk. You know, one thing that I like about Children's Mercy Park is that it feels very open. So this is the walkway into the stadium here. Nice, open and airy, lots of room to move around. Should be a very good crowd tonight. This place holds about 18,000 fans, and it should be a good crowd tonight. And one thing that you saw earlier, as I was going to point out, is that no one's thrown any beer cans at each other. No one has heckled each other. It's a pretty friendly rivalry, all things considered. There was a little spice last year with the whole Soccer Capital podcast, River City Ramble thing, but it's been a friendly rivalry. And, you know, fair play to Kansas City. They have a really nice stadium here. And here is a look at the top end of Sporting Kansas City. They call it the Cauldron, or the Blue Hell. And you know who else has a really good supporters culture? The Soccer Zombie YouTube channel. Be a part of it. Hit that subscribe button. We're on the way to 1,000 subscribers. Hold up, time out. Let's get T.O. in here. Come on, get the camera on me. There we go. Hi, it's Tom from the future here, at least from the future of the time of this game anyway. And I'm butting in here to correct myself here, because at the time of the game, I was below 1,000 subscribers, but it's been a couple of days since I could actually edit this video, thanks to, you know, this shirt here. I went to AEW Dynasty on Sunday night, and when you go to wrestling shows, you can't edit videos. So since that time, I actually have crossed 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to do a 1,000 subscribers video later on this week with a new toy that you're going to see on this channel here going forward. So watch out for that in the coming days. Hopefully, the United States Postal Service doesn't screw things up and you don't have to wait too long. Okay, back to the video. Bye. But while this is a friendly rivalry, they also can take the piss as well. I may have bought scarves in every game that I went to when I was in England and Ireland, but this is one that I'm going to skip. Welcome to City Park West, home of St. Louis City SC sickos like us that make this trek quite often. So yeah, like a lot of English parks, they put people in the corner. But yeah, when I say the corner, I mean they have these barricades up. This is like a designated away section. They keep these barricades up to separate Kansas fans, although there's still a lot of St. Louis fans out in the Kansas City seating area, so we don't follow that rule hard like they do in England. So he came all the way from Peoria, Illinois. So if you can imagine, it takes about 3.5 hours to get here from St. Louis. Add about, what, 3 hours to that?
I was up from Bloomington, where I drove from. It's about 5 hours to get here.
So why, man? Why come all the way out to Kansas?
Right, so USL, back in the day, I followed the club that was in St. Louis, and then when I got an MLS side, I decided not to be a Chicago Fire fan and fell in love with the club, and I think I went to almost every home game last year, so it's a commute, a long commute from Peoria.
Now, and you mentioned Peoria as well. You're a fan of Peoria City in USL 2. So for those that are in England right now that don't understand our pyramid here, explain Peoria City. Like, give us an introduction.
Yeah, so think of like your MLS Next Pro, but below that. So USL 2, it's primarily college kids who come and play for free. You'll see it all across. One of the best teams that I would think of is Des Moines Menace. They have a lot of players who end up going to the MLS or leagues abroad. So, like I said, it's just kids who are hungry, want to get some tape, want to impress their coaches, want to build that resume to get into the upper leagues.
Come on, you boys in red! When you go to an away day, sometimes you need to be careful. Sometimes you need a hard hat for the job. This guy came prepared. You know, before a very hard-fought derby match, one must fuel their body correctly. That's why I choose Highland Milk. Tifo game here in Kansas City. Not bad. It's pretty. All right, all the pregame hype is over. It is time to kick this one off. It's Derby Day in Kansas. Come on, City! By the way, I have a new title. I am now a mafioso with the Pork Steak Mafia. And we're away! They laid offshore into the box, though, but not a KC player nearby. A long shot, though. Oh, mistake, and we're free! Get a foot on it, get a foot on it! That's all right, though. Hope's still alive here. Shot. Well, there went hope right there. Oh, I hope that's not an omen of things to come.
Settle down, Beavis.
Yeah, 60 minutes into this one here. It's been all St. Louis so far. A lot of possession from St. Louis, getting the ball deep into KC territory. But as you've seen, just having a little bit of a tough time finding that final connection, but promising start.
A few moments later.
1-0 bad guys. He just got behind the defense. Nothing. Good ball movement in tight space and just finished it. Good ball movement by them in tight space. Fair play to them. Polito, he is one of their designated players. He's one of their stars, and he tends to do that against us. It's familiar territory. Oh, it's only one goal, and we are soldiering on. Chance to start riding the ship here as we got a corner kick here, and it's right in front of us. Team has had a little bit of a tough time scoring this season. They've shown signs of coming out of it. Last week against Austin, they could have won that by 5-0. They just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Oh, what a chance! Oh, what a move! Oh! What an effort from Joao Klaus, though. I said before, the ball movement has been there. The execution has not until then. Beautiful feed by what I think was Totland up to Klaus, who put it away, did what he needed to do. Beautiful goal. New ball game, 1-1 here in the 32nd minute. Let's go. the seats here. It's something of a tradition in City Park that most of us stand for the game, even if we do have seating arrangements.
But Celio Pompeo with the nice finish. Celio loves a goal here at Children's Mercy. He scored last year in the playoffs, and he scored again here, close to the same spot as well. So 2-1 St. Louis City on the road in Children's Mercy. Could this be our first points here in this park in 3 attempts? What a first half that was for St. Louis City SC, up 2-1 here. Goals by Joao Klaus, Celio Pompeo. This team looks really up for it today. They've owned the ball in Kansas territory. You probably saw that I had a lot more footage from when St. Louis was attacking than KC. That wasn't just because I'm a homer, it's because that's where the ball was for much of the first half. So promising, this is the first time St. Louis has led here at this park since early on in the first game. So this would be huge. Even just to get a point out of this, but 3 would be even better. And when you've been cheering, chanting, and celebrating St. Louis City SC goals in Kansas, you need to fuel up and refuel properly. So that's why I choose Highland Chocolate Milk. Into the blue hell. Oi! Good chance. St. Louis is not letting up. 2-1, but they want more. So that chant you just heard, for those of you that may not be aware, that have just come onto my channel recently, that was the chant that I came up with for Roman Berkey. Florida Noise was looking for chant ideas, and they decided to run with that idea, and here we are. It's part of the club culture now. That's why I am called Soccer Zombie on YouTube. That's the zombie in Soccer Zombie. KC just brought in a player that a lot of people consider their heart and soul, former Darby County man Johnny Russell. We'll see how this changes the dynamic of this game. Russell, very feisty player, but also very skilled. Oh, that was a good attempt to be fair. Good attempt to be fair. Until the replay, because I didn't think it was anything to write home about as far as the play goes. So, oh well. Sometimes the balls just don't bounce your way, and that is a case in point right there. Unfortunate. Oh! This is trouble. This is trouble. We just can't win here. We just can't win here. Like, I'm gonna die in 20 years, and we still have never won here. This second half, St. Louis team that I've been watching here is not the same team in the first half. We've completely lost that killer edge and allowed Kansas City to take over this game. First half we played St. Louis's game, second half we played Kansas City's game, and now they're reaping the rewards. It's got to happen soon, or got a long ride home. only 3 minutes of stoppage time. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen now. Come on. Footy fan anywhere, whether you're in America, England, Albania, it doesn't matter. Never lose hope like I did for much of this half. Never lose hope, because there is a good chance here, unless something crazy happens, and it could happen, it's football, we're gonna get out of Kansas City with a point. Our first point here ever. I will take it, because points on the road in the MLS are not easy.
These are the fans that were going back and forth earlier about the seats, and these guys have been kind of jostling each other the whole game. But see, we can come together at the end of this, and cooler heads prevail. Of course, having a tie for both teams helps. You love to see it. This is how rivalry should be.
Wow, so that is a St. Louis, Kansas City derby match here, and it brought the heat today. It really brought the heat. It brought the ups. It brought the highs at the first half. It brought the lows of the second half, and then it took us right back up. You rarely get happy over a draw like that in this sport, but this is one that, I feel pretty satisfied with. 3-3 draw. Entertaining. I mean, that's Kansas City's game this year. They tend to be high-scoring affairs. I mean, last week against Messi and Inter Miami, it was 3-2, and they've had a few games that have had at least 4 goals total. So this is that's kind of how these games go with them. And thankfully, St. Louis is scoring again. We got our scoring shoes back. I mean, Tomas Totland quickly becoming my favorite St. Louis City SC player. The guy he's technically gifted, he hustles, got the 3rd goal to tie it up, send us home with a point, and I will never be sad about a road away point. Tots, man, that's right, Tots. He's our tater tot. Tots. Yes, so we're going home. I got a 3.5 hour drive back to St. Louis. Yeah, that's it from Kansas City. My phone battery's about to die. My voice is in the process of dying. So this has been your soccer zombie, Tom Franklin, and we'll see you next time.